Hey people, Injured here, 3v3 faction war. This is Avenza Stronghold and Eldar versus Orks. Blue Eldar team, we have Theo with a Farseer support hero fighting in melee combat, some powerful buffs and control abilities alongside. The Tenso with a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat by default, ready for capping and harassing with some powerful control. Same Han elite scheme here. Rounding off the team, Exterminatus with a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and support, taking some shots to the face. Red Orks, Mostafa with a Kommando knob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins in ranged combat with a twin link shooter, Death Skull's elite scheme. Alongside, MzumF with a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very strong offense, disruption and support. From the front lines, those sluggers are getting torn up. Time to run, fellas. There you go. They should be okay. Warboss can maybe get a stomp. Oh, waited a bit too late. And misses it. Rounding off the team's dice roll with a Mekboy. Teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat. Puts out some good damage. And has some funky, versatile, orky gadgets. Disruptor flying in from the Warlock there. Freebooters DLC looks like in dice roll's army. MzumF is losing some shooters. I don't think Mostafa got second shooters up, right? There's a bunch of dead sluggers there, but that's not the full squad. That's just these fellas having a bad day. Warboss. Almost. Did they get that swing on the Warp Spider there? Did he get away? I think they got it. I think if you start the animation, you get the hit. Generally speaking, unless it's a special attack. On the west side, Eldar pushing through onto the natural power, although these natural powers are quite difficult to hold near the VPs. Mekboy waiting behind some heavy cover sandbags. Triple Guardians up for the Tenso and Exterminatus. Theo with the Soul Howling Banshee squad. Warlock scares them all off with his nifty jumping ways. Eldar have the mid locked down, even decapping this natural wreck point there. Kommando flees. No sign of rangers yet to help spot this fella. More Howling Banshees on the way, this time for Exterminatus. Coming out a little bit late with Banshees can catch your opponent off guard. Suddenly they have to deal with melee stuff. Triple Guardian is doing a decent job power bashing here. Like 3 and a little bit bursts and it's down. I'll be able to get 2 gens. Only just now coming out of base. Got double sluggers here as dice roll. Burners on both. They got 2 gens. No sign of battle equipment, so we might see, yeah, instantly aspect up for the Banshees. They've gone for fleetness. Mid is still blue for Eldar. Guardian weapon team locking it down with a shuriken. Warboss might get the charge, might get some Storm Boys. We shall see. Are they repairing the gen? Banshees do indeed have their aspect. These guys just got their battle equipment up. Such a good upgrade for Guardians. Turns them into a really good tier 1 unit, I think. If you've got the micro to use them well. You can use fleet to disengage when it's an unfavorable fight. Use the grenades to punish retreats and melee units. Got the shields, extra health. Such a good upgrade. West side, good special from the Farseer. She's got her Doombringer in play. Not sure where she's going now. A misclick maybe. Banshees in amongst the Orks, fighting off the Kommando. Storm Boys are in for Mostafa. Went straight into Storm Boys. MzumF. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pass this name. Has gone for Storm Boys as well. The Warboss, let's call him. There he is. Grenade. To nowhere in particular. Well done, Tenso. Any war gear? Yes, heavy gauge death spinner. As possibly predicted against a Warboss, just frustrating with stuns. Some gens up here. Map looking very blue, actually. Expected a bit more pressure through from the Orks. Eldar holding up very well so far with all these Guardians. There's some shooter boys buffed by the Mekboy. More Daka. Warp Spider getting suppressed, but Banshee's getting in. Oh, not quite. Mekboy suppressed them at point blank range with the death gun. They suppressed him with their war shout though. Shooter boys getting chopped up and retreating. Banshee's doing some good work. Storm Boys jump in a shuriken and they get the shuriken. That was the Tenso's. the only shuriken in play. So that might really open up the mid for the Orks. They can jump stuff with the Storm Boys, power through with the Warboss and the Sluggers in behind. What is the ranged attack when she's got this equipped? 10.29 DPS. Not horrible for a sidearm, but not great. It looked like Doom was briefly up on the Storm Boys there. Maybe I just caught the end of it. Sluggers do get away, I think, barely. Those guys looking for a grenade, I think. Whenever you see Guardians rush forward like that, they want to grenade something usually. The Farseer goes down, the grenade did hit. Not completely flush. I think maybe they expected them to back off slightly. So it was slightly behind them. Guardians getting ripped up and they go down. Those were Theo's. Theo's had a rough fight. Farseer down. Guardians down. Maybe something else down. West side. Storm Boys capping duty. This power got completely bashed. Got some idle shooter boys. They could be on this wreck point maybe. Or helping the mid. Kommando maybe stuns himself there and runs. Walks, but they can get an easy revive here, maybe. If you can find that click. There it is. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get it. And they are going to level to 2 off that, definitely. 461 to 336 early on. 2-to-1 cap for the Eldar, looking for their tier 2s. Theo just started it, so did Exterminatus. In fact, they're 3/4 of the way through. East side, got some Daka, we got some fire. Sounds like Orks to me. There's that Death Gun doing the business. Trying to split and approach here, Exterminatus. Does a decent job. Throws out the Destructor as well on those shooter boys. That was buffed by the Mekboys Global. Howling Banshees yell and then flee. And the yell did not affect the Sluggers. They were too far away, I guess. In amongst the Guardians. Where's the grenade? No grenade. More Sluggers on more Guardians here. Where's the grenade? There it is. Nope. You saw the energy go down for it, but they couldn't afford to wait around for the throwing animation. So bailed, which turned out to be a good idea. They might have got a good grenade, but they would have lost the squad if they did, I think. Grenading some gens now. Stun bomb. Hits those two fellas there. Otherwise well avoided by the Tenso having to reinforce this west side after Theo's losses. But Theo's tier 2, so is Exterminatus, the Orks lagging behind in tech. Did get a full bash here though, only just been recaptured I think. Storm Boys on the mid VP. Oh, Commando Knob goes down. Just shot to death, maybe heavy gauge filamented as well. 461 to 288. Sluggers in amongst the Guardians, where's the grenades? Waiting for energy on these guys maybe? They might have still been on cooldown because they bashed gens with it. They did steal the power. But it doesn't seem like they're noding it. There's Doom up on the Storm Boys there from the Doom Bringer. 30% more damage taken. Always nice to have. 450 to 288. Orks massing up just at the right time to push there. And they're still coming. Here comes the Warboss, who's got an enhanced custom shooter and boss pole up to help out his Ork buddies. MzumF. That's what I'm going to say. Who's capping here? Shooter boys. East side. Leveling up shooters to 2. They got their big shooters and their knob leader, so they know how to shoot stuff for sure. Witchblade of Kernus comes out pretty quickly in tier 2 for Exterminatus. And some Warp Spiders. Teleporting infantry that can frustrate melee squads and do some really good DPS. Also have the utility of a haywire grenade with their aspect, which they do have. Eldar trying to break out on the west side. Good pressure from the Orks, punishing the little lull that the Eldar had as they went to tier 2. But tier 2 units starting to appear. They can push back. Wraithlord on the way for Theo. Warp Spiders up also for the Tenso, maybe called in from the global bar of the Warp Spider Exarch. Pulls in some of his teleporting buddies. Warboss got absolutely destroyed and retreats. So he was trying to get into combat there. Maybe hang back and just shoot that enhanced custom shooter a bit. The Eldar pushing the east side as well. Can get the Mekboy down here, I think, if these guys jump after him. There it is. And they get the finish. Will be easily revived. Weird Boy is in now for dice roll. They're on the power. power melee Witchblade of Kernus to punish the sluggers, the double sluggers of Dice Roll if they come in on him. Back to the west. Doombringer scares off the sluggers with Doom. Sluggers, Stormboys, sorry, have their Knob Leader up. Good special from the Farseer on those shooter boys there. Still chasing. Got suppressed by aiming. Watch that, I think. Just saw the Warboss's army show up, but I think they've spotted the Wraith Lord now, so they're being cautious. Wraith Lord has a shoulder-mounted shuriken cannon equipped. Lots of DPS on this thing. And a big old sword, of course, which will heavily damage all targets. MzumF finally goes tier 2. Reinforcing a lot of Stormboys, maybe. East side. Orc Spiders continue to frustrate the sluggers. And if they do get into combat, they might have to deal with Ethereal Slash, Witchblade of Kernus shenanigans. These guys don't have a grenade. Why are you this close? Run away, fellas. Trying to reinforce. Pushing through is Dice Roll with some help from his Warboss buddy. 387 to 259. 2-1 continues for the Eldar. They might get that decapped on the west side as well, but there is a Wraith Lord here. Tank Buster's getting way too close for Mostafa. Must have been an order given a while ago and forgotten about, unfortunately, for Mostafa. Stun grenade looks good. Going to try and focus down the Banshees here. We have the special shooter too. Orky shotgun. Retain their VP. Wraith Lord in amongst the Stormboys, going to cleave through them as they retreat there. Retreating units taking 30% more melee damage. Bad news when it's this kind of melee over here. Now the Warp Spider's on the VP. Someone who knows that's a cap is a Warp Spider Exarch. Loves it. East side, Warboss levels to 4. So he's done some decent work in combat, this guy. Don't think you're going to get the cap though, buddy. Can stomp and scare off Dino. Just runs. Going to get decap on the power as well, which got fully bashed. Eldar have stolen this power, which they didn't even have to pay for. Just paid for the node. Those are all Orky generators. And they got the VP. Wraith Lord just hanging back by them this time, but double tank busters are here, and this Wraith Lord is quite far up. Good special attack there. Look at the kills. But tank busters are a really effective anti-vehicle unit. Farseer trying to get in there and affect them. I hear Banshees yelling on the east side probably. Farseer's in there, tying them up. But she can't hang around forever. Enough though for the Wraith Lord to stomp away. And here are Theo's Banshees. Exterminatus' Banshees. Oh, they just wiped. Couldn't select them. Back there probably. Yeah, you see one there. A bunch back here. Got ran through by the sluggers. Maybe the Warlock wasn't in place to use Ethereal Slash. There it is. Double cap though for the Eldar. Looking strong and looking for their tier 3s. Theo took some losses in tier 1. Just got Wraith Lord up and gone tier 3. Mid VP says Mostafa. MzumF has been trying to support the flanks. Got 4 tank busters up now, the red Orky team. So maybe Seer Councils and not Fire Prisms, eh fellas? Orcs got some catching up to do on those VPs though, 150 or so behind. Stormboys jumping in. No knob leader though, so they can't stun. And the Warp Spiders are there to do their thing. Whole bunch of DPS. Then when you do get close to them, they teleport away. West side. Banshee's yelling. Yelled way too early. Weird Boy gets a decent Warp Vomit there. And a bunch of melee now closing in on the Banshees. Doom is up on the Stormboys. And here comes the Wraith Lord. I see a single tank buster. No, double tank busters are there. The Weird Boy also does decent anti-vehicle damage with his basic attack, but that was a good use of his attack over there. Stormboy's Knob Leader has a heavy melee weapon as well. Guardians might fight. A rocky start to tier 3 for the Eldar. Can they get this Wraith Lord though? They bloody might. All the melee is in retreat, but tank busters are still there. Farseer can't tie them all up. Down goes the Wraith Lord. It did decent work. Kind of always expect, well, I always expect tier 2 walkers to go down in a 3v3. Rarely do they make it to the end of the game. I guess a few units do from tier 2, but D-Cannon on the field with the Tenso. Theo with a Seer Council, which the Farseer can uniquely call in from a global bar. The others have to purchase them from HQ. 387 to 108. East side tried to decap it, the shooters, but they met some sparkly Eldar Daka and flee. Sluggers there with their Knob Leader. Orks have the mid. 2 to 1 for the Orks now. D-Cannon on the way for Theo. Did the Eldar lose too much stuff there at the end of tier 2? Guess it depends when the Orks can hit their tier 3 stride, and they're a ways off it at the moment. Maybe Dice Roll can get there soon. Mostafa lots of red. If Mostafa can get tier 3, they can get the nuke going. Mekboy goes down. Assassinated by the Warlock, maybe? What's this? This custom force field Mekboy here. 369 to 108. Back to the mid. Orks trying to get back on it. Warboss now has a Power Claw. Just cleaved that Guardian in twain. Doom up though. From the Farseer is now shooting him a bit. Special attack misses. Seer Council there. Seer Council all leap into combat with power melee weapons, and they provide a powerful ranged damage reduction aura that they themselves benefit from. Nice passive aura for those guys, 15% I believe, which really does add up in this game. Eldritch Storm on the mid, and some singularities I think, yep. Holy crap. A lot of stuff. Poor fellas in there. Did they live? I don't think those guys lived, you guys. Kommando gets away, but there's bits of Orks just strewn around here now. 369 to 94. Down under 100 VPs to Orks. They put on some good pressure, but they got hit hard with the nuke and the double singularities there. Where are those D-Cannons actually? This one's back to base. Oh, they're both back. Had to go back to base after they fired it. Orks get them in though, and the Warboss is still here, although quite low. Is he in retreat now? Yeah, he's in retreat. Oh, Warlock's gone mental. Providence is up. Doesn't have the warp throw. Retreats a little bit early there, I think. Had a decent amount of time left on Providence, I believe. Farseer is here though to push the fight. Level 6 with Armor of the Assyrian for time field. Lowers movement speed, and he can't attack or use it. It's a silence and a slow. It's pretty damn good. And now getting Ghost Helm. She's got a lot of abilities to juggle now. Doom, Time Field, Mind War, Guide, Fleet. See a Council of Exterminatus on the VP. So there's 2 of them up now. These guys can level up. Now level 4 they get like 3,500 hit points, which is not bad. Or is it 3,800? I think it's like 3,802 or something weird. I don't know why it's such an odd number coming from 2,500, but there it is. 315 to 94. Heavy gauge used on the sluggers. Level 4 sluggers as well. So those guys can pack a punch. 2 of them, in fact, for dice roll. Bunch of Orks marauding to the mid. All buffed by that boss pole. And now heavy armor is queued up for MzumF in tier 3. 900 hit points added to the Warboss when that thing kicks in. City Council sprinting to the mid. Farseer alongside. Can she use his abilities well? Maybe she will Mind War the Warboss, stop him using that claw effectively. Farseer got out of position there though, should have hanged back a bit. Banshees in the Seer Council get dunked on and have to flee. Still have the 2-tone cap though, the Eldar. They have both the natural, no they don't. They have the mid, nobody's capping it. None of these Orks interested in capping right now, there we go. Now they're capping. Singularity in the mid. It drags in a bunch of tank busters, and then they are scared off. More warp spiders for Exterminatus. They've done well in this game. Tier 3 all around now. Mostafa the last to go. Dice roll has a knob squad. Could get super tough beam. Still has the custom force field for now. 314 down to 57 VPs, the Orks. They really need to push the pedal. They've got a big scary Warboss now, level 5 as well, up over 2,000 hit points. And buffing all the Orks in the mid with the boss pole. D-cannon trying to set up. Get a decent shot over here. Lobbing up at these Orks. I can't even see where it's shooting these days. That's a singularity. It was shooting right there. So hard to see those D-cannon effects. I wish they could fix it to be like it was. We saw a big arcing beam. It was such a cool effect. That was back when the D-cannon had all of its damage up front before they changed it to damage over time. Something up with that effect where they weren't able to just easily re-enable it, I guess, for some reason. East side. Warlock trying to fight off the Orks. Warp spiders just tearing through stuff with those dual death spinners on the Exarch and I guess regular death spinners on the other feathers. 266 to 57 single cap for the Orks. The knobs are here. They have meaner and greener, but none of their other upgrades avoiding ethereal slash. Not sure why they're still going after the Warlock. I guess because these guys will just teleport. They're staying really far away though from the ethereal slash, taking lots of damage from the warp spiders, popping their frenzy. 75% damage resist and immunity to suppression for the duration. Only lasts 6 or 8 seconds or so, I think, though. And it costs you red. The warp spiders are back again. See a council being suppressed by something. Amy watched that, I suppose. Didn't see it go off. Mekboy now has a Mega Rumbler. Looks like the Eldar are trying to push the west side, or at least they were. Mekboy doing his thing. See a council make it on him though. And has to retreat. Might go down on chase. Does go down. Get to see a sync kill. Just chucks a Witchblade into his chest. Oh, does he not twitch? The Mekboy doesn't twitch. Maybe he's actually dead. Back towards the mid. I see Stormboys jumping in. We got a Fire Prism for the Tenso. 259 to 57. Farseer coming in from the flank. She just leveled to 7. And that's a singularity again. I've had a few good ones already. That's a really good one. Holy crap. That was a really good one. Where is it? Oh, it's back there. It was Theo's, I think. Time field in the mid from the Farseer. Warboss is getting annoyed. Commando's being sneaky now with a rocket launcher. They never did get rangers up. Holy crap, that was a lot of damage on that shot. That was ridiculous. Down goes that Fire Prism, I guess. Warlock levels to 4. Warboss in amongst some Seer Council now. And there's a Rocks. And the Warp Spiders aren't moving. Holy crap, direct hit on them. These are Exterminatus' Warp Spiders. I think they all wiped. Yeah, wiped two Warp Spider squads. And those guys had levels, I think. That was a really good Rocks. Didn't expect it to land, I guess. Exterminatus just wasn't watching at that point. 3 Rocks on me, they say. Was there 3? Where else did the Rocks land? I don't see the remains of a Rocks landing anywhere else on the east side or anything. Maybe I'm blind. In fact, I am definitely blind, but I really don't see it. There's no glowing crater marks that the Rocks leaves behind. Was that 3 right there? I don't think that was it? West side, what is this? Tank busters are thinking about, there we go. They are bashing power. Warboss down in the mid. Kommando could get some XP with the revives. They are defending the west side though at the moment. Warp Spiders teleport up into a bunch of angry Orks. They couldn't see what was there. Triple cap though for the greenskins. Flash kits on the way for MzumF. And we have Commandos on the field for dice roll. That is an Eldritch. Nobs pop Frenzy. Didn't do too much. There's a lot of Orks there. Look at that. Hell of a lot of Orks. Fire Prism needs to keep far away. Kommando might go after it again. Not sure where he is right now. There he is. Being sneaky and weird. Switching back to the rocket launcher. Grenades on the Nobs. One way to disrupt them. Which is generally how you deal with the Nob squad. Keep them knocked over. You've got Kommando sneaking around with the rocket launcher on the Nob leader. Kommando's set to get a very cool upgrade in 298, which will turn them into a full-on melee squad. Very excited to see that in action. Hopefully it goes through. Their Nob leader used to have a huge chopper back in retail days, early retail days, even though the others had guns, which was a bit weird. I think they've got it. That's going to do it. Down goes another Fire Prism. Probably not a good idea to get any more vehicles up for the Eldar, I think. Maybe another Wraith Lord to help fight the Nobs and stuff, but even then, I think it's a bad idea. Another Shuriken up wouldn't be bad, I think. 146 to 23. Orks so far behind on VPs, but look at their armies here. Huge army advantage. I say that just as some Storm Boys die, of course. Was that Entangling Web? No, it doesn't have it. But enhanced warp generator. Maybe that effect was Mind War or something. 146 to 23. Time Field. And a Mega Rumbler. Hell of a special attack from that one fella there. Here comes a Nob squad. Almost half health already though. What is this? Oh, more Warp Spiders called in by the Tenso. Nob squad going for the decap, but there's an Eldritch on their face and there's a Rocks. That's a hell of an Eldritch in there. Everything kind of walks into it. Retreating very late. Down to 7 VPs though. Eldar might have this. Singularities on the VP now. They got the decap. The Tenso says GG. Still got 3 VPs to tick down. There's a Singularity and an Eldritch on there to try and stop that decap. But the decap went through. The Orks aren't out of it yet. Here come more Fire Prisms because the other ones have done so well, I guess. That's what a decannon shot looks like now. It's a cool effect. It just needs to be a bit more behind it, kind of thing. Orks can grab the mid. As I said, they have huge armies. Not super great at stabilizing a VP though. They don't have many defensive structures. I guess they could throw up a bunch of war banners for the buffs. Ork has his little turret. Storm Boy's getting a good stun. Warboss doing what he can to keep them off the VP. Here comes some sluggers. Orks need to get their asses out of base, back in the mid immediately, basically. There's a Fire Prism. Warp Spiders on the mid. Banshee's yelling. Here's some Kommandos with Love the Daka to disrupt. Desperation times for the Orks. And looks like perhaps the Farseer. Yes, the Farseer is on the Orks' natural VP. But she's knocked off it by the Weird Boy, I guess. Couldn't get the decap. Would only take a decap and in 3 seconds to get the win, but couldn't get it. Mekboy disrupting everything off the mid with the custom force field. Level 8, probably going to go down. Couldn't get the Mega Rumbler off, and now they're capping the mid. Is that enough? Can they disrupt? Maybe a Tank Buster Barrage? Nope. Looks like they have conceded the Orks at the end, I believe. Thought this cap was going to finish and it would have been GG. Would have liked to see the end though. In terms of the cap. Let's look at these heroes. Level 9 Farseer. Didn't bring it a lot of work. Time Field did some good stuff at the end as well. We had a level 8 Warp Spider Exarch. Constant annoyance with improved targeters and the enhanced warp jump generator for even more mobility. Warlock Did some good ethereal slashes. Didn't get the warp throw though, which you typically see with this build with Providence and stuff. Kommando hunted some fire prisms really well. Warboss was angry enough, I think, for a Warboss. Level 7 had the trophy rack at the end and a level 8 mech with some good tricks up his sleeve. I mean, bit more VPs, Orks might have been able to turn this around, but Eldar did enough on the VPs despite their beleaguered armies. They were constantly rebuilding stuff though and recovering. It's not that they got completely dominated through the map. This was Bash though. I wonder if they had like 50 VPs left, if the Orks could have turned it around. It's possible. Definitely possible. Well, there you have it, fellas. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to these players for taking part, the Tenso for hosting these faction war lobbies, and these guys for jumping in and giving it a go. I'll see you next time.